passing around, if you can just write down your name and who you are, so I've got a sense of who's in the workshop today.
Thanks, guys. Tess has worked with all the big corporates. She's changed businesses, and so I'm really excited to she's going to give us one of her workshops that she's done in real life with real businesses. So it's stuff that works and stuff you can take home, and it's going to be more workshopy than talky. So we're going to get involved, which is going to be good fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you.
Thanks. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I started to realize that I was in the murky middle, or the middle part of my life, when I realized that my back was going out more often than I was. So I had to kind of take a step back. I had gone through the first part of my life very quickly. So I'll just give you a little bit of a background so you can see that I've gone through a lot of change in my life. I started my first part of my life very quickly. I was dux at the school, I got the prizes at university, I got the jobs at Unilever and Colgate-Palmolive. I went up and up and up, and then around the age of about 30 I kind of just hit a wall, and I thought, I read somewhere, you climb up that ladder and then you realize that your ladder's kind of against the wrong wall. I've been through this quite a number of times. I moved from South Africa, I went to live in Paris, then I was in London as Associate Director of Innovation, then I moved to Australia, then I moved to New York, and then I've moved back to South Africa. So change is something that I've had to navigate through my whole life, and it's also something that in Australia I help people navigate through who had lost their jobs at a certain age, where they were getting retrenched. There were a lot of mergers and acquisitions going on, and it's happening here in South Africa as well. And people had to really sit back and say, who am I without my job? What is my identity if I don't have my job? And I don't know about you, but for me the first half of life was very linear. It was, if I put in the effort, I saw the result. It was kind of directly proportional. And then I got to a phase where the same effort being put in wasn't producing the same results. And suddenly life was kind of not logical, it was messy, and I had lived my whole life in intellect, in thinking, and suddenly that just wasn't enough, and I really needed to learn to reconnect in myself and to connect with other people. And I suppose this is what my journey has been like since then. So I'm not going to be standing up here saying like I've got all the answers, but I'm going to share with you some of the things that have worked for me, and I've worked with quite a few people that I've worked with to help them through and navigate through those changes. So before I start, what I want to kind of debunk is some of these myths that you can kind of go from point A to point B really, really quickly. I don't know if you listen to a lot of that pop psychology, law of attraction, which kind of makes you think, well, how come it's meant to be so easy and I can't just get there like this? And I realized that, and I used to say, well, people used to always say to me, look, we learn from our mistakes. Who says has found people that say, I don't mind mistakes, I don't regret anything because I learn from my mistakes. Well, I don't know about you, but I make the same mistakes with monotonous regularity, okay, over and over and over again. And why is that? Why do you think we make the same mistakes, even though we know better? Why do you think we're making the same mistakes? Habit. So it's habit of thought, and our thoughts have energy, okay? And it's almost impossible to go from here when you've got this big freighter that's kind of been moving through. It's like, I suppose, animals that are moving through the grass, and they form a pathway over time, and it's just impossible to form a new pathway really, really quickly. So there are specific little skills that you need to do. You almost have to go and meet that freighter where it is, and then slowly turn it around. And whilst you're doing that, you're going to be going through a lot of emotional pain, and that's because we get from one point, we have to kind of break that vessel in order to, so let's just say we've formed a path and we've got this kind of rigid outer shell that now needs to break in order to move and allow more light in so that we can grow as people. So what I came across, and I think it's really, really helpful, is to understand the energy of emotion. Did anybody know that emotion actually has energy? Okay, so emotion has energy and emotion has a frequency, so everything's a vibration. So right at the bottom where you've got very low energy, which is where a lot of people are sitting, is here in suffering. Okay, and right at the top, I don't think we're going to get there, certainly not today. But that's, nirvana. And look what happened to him. So, most of us are actually sitting here. I know for myself, something that tripped me up a lot is my pride. Okay? Needing